Hey peeps, how you doing today? It's Horatio once again with the best gear on the planet 2017. Today we are covering high-speed digital single lens reflex cameras, DSLRs, high-speed DSLRs. Today helping me is my lovely assistant and daughter, Everly. We're talking gymnastics photography today. How do we get high-speed photography done, and what is the best gear on the planet for doing that right now? This has been my tried and true trusty Nikon D4-16MP 2.8 lens. It shoots happily 11 frames per second. That's usually what I tune it to, about 11 frames per second, and it'll do it forever. The buffer is amazing. It's super fast, super high speed, and just goes and goes and goes. But there's a problem with it. 16 megapixels. I've been using this thing for more than 4 years and it is 16 megapixels. I print huge. I print big. My customers want big, huge, yummy, lovely gallery prints. I can't do it with this very well. I have to keep enlarging and enlarging, and of course every time you enlarge, if I'm past 100%, I am now creating pixels, and that is not a good way to do this. Step up, step in. Let's take a look at the Sony A99 II, 42 megapixels, same sensor as the A7R II, which we know is really good. A7R II stinks for me though. Why does it stink? Why does it stink? Because it doesn't shoot high speed. I need something that shoots 10 to 12 frames per second. Right now I'm clocking this thing today at 11.1 frames per second, but it's got a problem. And again, 42 megapixels. It's got a problem. That problem is a buffer. The buffer is about 24 to 25 frames per second. Can I make do with that? Can I get done what I need to do when I'm shooting high-speed gymnastics with lighting? Well, I don't know. So what is the best gear on the planet for shooting high-speed sports right now? We're gonna try to figure that out. 42 megapixels, 16 megapixels. Why don't I have a Nikon D5 with me? Why don't I have a Canon 1DX Mark II? Because Canon and Nikon have basically said they aren't gonna give me anything past an incremental increase in speed and in megapixels for about a decade. For me to get 42 megapixels, it's going to take about a decade or so for Nikon and Canon to do it. I'm not a young man anymore. I want to print bigger. My customers want bigger. I want to print my daughter bigger. So what is the best gear on the planet for me right now? Is it this? Is it this? I don't want incremental, I want monumental. I want big, large, beautiful prints, but can we deal with this buffer? We're gonna take a look, take a test, and see if this is some of the best gear on the planet 2017. All right, let's take some pics. Today my lighting is gonna be at 7.1. That's where I am, because I got a shoot coming up and that's about where I wanna be. Okay, so we're gonna do one quick test with my dear sweet Ebbs. Boom. All right, again, out of focus for you guys, but man, that's looking crispy. We'll put it up. Okay, little miss, okay? And get those hands moving, a little smile. Get them moving, yes, yes. So I'm thinking over the bar, keep going, keep going, keep going, don't stop. Over the bars, handstand, handstand, handstand. One thing I notice about this thing is it's very hard for me to shoot just a single shot. My Nikons are easier at that, but it's not too bad. And here we go, little burst of action. Little burst, and here we come. Giant, 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 getting ready for dismount, and go, go, go. That's all I got. That's all I got left. That's all I got left. Now we're gonna wait, we have to wait for it to clear. I can get off single images, but I can't get off any more. Is that enough not to miss the whole Tkachev? Is that enough not to miss the whole grab? Again, it depends what sport you're doing. So, this is our Sony A99 Mark II, right? With beautiful Everly. We're gonna throw on the Nikon D4 right now and compare it. We're gonna throw on the Nikon D4 right now and compare it. Okay, little Miss Ebbs, ready? One for test, boom. One for test, gonna take a quick look at it, and it's perfect. And get moving there, kiddo. Yep, warming up on bar. Yep, handstand, chicken stand. Yep, little move, little quick one. Little quick one, quick. Oh, looks good. And get those arms wailing. Get those arms wailing now. And here comes the big finale. And I can go on like this all day, but I'm not gonna. Will get you on the floor more quick. Forget the BS, cause the boy's legitimate. A product of environment, that's odd. I keep the faith of God, cause the times are hard. I'm large, dare to compare, persevere, curse or swear. And I'm here to spread news like Paul Revere, cause I'm in there, on top. Stop, all those who try to block, but rock, get dropped. Now let's dance. Old school, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day it is in Frisco, Colorado. Gotta love it. So what about A-mount lenses? Well, let me tell you, there's one lens that I always wanted to shoot, a Carl Zeiss 135 1.8. And I'm gonna give you a bunch of examples, because yes, I got one. I can use it now on this beautiful A-mount. This is one of my favorite lenses from Nikon, the 105 DC Micro. Fantastic portraiture lens, razor sharp as you step out on it. Maybe f4, you're getting really sharp now. At f2, there's a softness to it, there's a creaminess to it that's fantastic, especially for portraiture on older people, on people without perfect skin. There's this creaminess to it that I just absolutely adore. Now, what's amazing is that Carl Zeiss 135 1.8 kind of does the same thing. However, it's razor sharp at 1.8. It's a phenomenal lens. That lens was created in 2006 and really hasn't changed at all. It's fantastic, and now I know why. Shooting that has just been a joy. The 15mm Sigma Art Series 1.4 on this body, on the A99 II, holy moly, it's fantastic. Razor sharp, beautiful, just absolutely phenomenal. There are some Sigma lenses coming out, the 85, I think it's 135 as well, that are not being announced with an A-mount, Sigma. Big, big error on your part. I hope you guys rethink that. I think this A-mount A99 II is going to be just a fantastic, fantastic camera for portraiture, for landscape, and high-speed photography. I think you're making a mistake by not including it. I know the people out there right now reviewing this give it weird reviews. I don't even get it. How can you guys ding it for things that it does that no one else does? I mean, what other DSLR has perfect autofocus right now in full auto? I'm watching reviews and I'm floored by guys dinging this camera for that. There's no DSLR on the planet right now that has perfect autofocus and perfect tracking of a subject. In fact, this one does it pretty well. If I put it on autofocus, which will keep it at a constant aperture of 3.5, it stays very well locked. But who wants to be locked to 3.5? I don't. So I just put it in manual, as I do all my other cameras, including my FS7 and anything else I shoot, including when I shoot portraiture, including when I shoot high-speed strobe photography. I don't keep it in aperture priority or in P or in S mode or something like that. I'm shooting in manual. How in God's name am I going to shoot it in an auto mode and get exactly what I want? The only way to get the image and to get the things that you absolutely want are going to be in manual mode. So I am floored. I am wondering why people are dinging this. Again, it's the only camera on the planet doing what it can do. Have an open mind and wait till you see the results. This thing's phenomenal. I hope it sells gazillions because, holy smokes, A-mount sure ain't dead. I am definitely excited to see the new E-mount cameras, but at their frame rate, they don't do it for me. I need a minimum of 11 frames per second. So the industry seems to be missing something, and it kind of drives me crazy. We're looking at all these high frame rate cameras, but at lower megapixel. Usually the high school photographer, the poorly lit indoor basketball game, volleyball photographer. That isn't what everybody is. I'm a strobist photographer and I crave ISO 100 and ISO 64 to be super clean. The Nikon D5, that sensor is dirtier and softer at anything below ISO 400 than my D4. I've looked, I've tried, and that's the truth. I'm shooting at ISO 100 at ISO 64. On the A99 II, I'm shooting at ISO 100 with my strobes at 12 frames per second, and I'm capturing magic with that. Is she looking good? This is a Sony A99 II. Comparing this to the GH5 and the Sony A99 II, both shooting SLog. Vlog, of course, for the Panasonic GH5. But I'm shooting in SLog 3 right now, and this is how I normally shoot. This is a grade B camera, 4K. Remember, I'm coming from 16 megapixels. The jump to 42 is wonderful. I'm getting what I get out of my D810, but at high frame rates. It's fantastic. The things I can do with that are miraculous. That's what I love. And this is really the only camera that's been speaking to me, the only camera that puts someone like me in the mix and says, hey, this is a great marketable body. Let's give it to them. Think about all the stuff that Sony's doing right now. The A7s, the new A9, fantastic. If I was shooting high-speed, poorly lit outdoor sports, not strobist, but just natural lit sports, bam, that's my machine. However, the A99 II can do the same thing. It doesn't have as high of a buffer, no doubt. Definitely doesn't have as high a buffer, but do you ever just sit there at a football game and press the shutter and blow off 100 images? I never shoot like that. Yes, the high megapixel count and file size would be annoying at just letting it go for a burst of 100 or 200, but who shoots like that? It's more like brah, 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 right? You're in and out. you're catching the ball, or you're flipping over the bars, or you're sliding into home plate, even sliding into home plate. Done, right? You're not gonna sit there for a burst of 300, sliding into home plate, getting off, dusting off, and if that's your thing, rock and roll, you can do it. But that's typically not the way I shoot, and I think that's typically not the way most sports photographers shoot. They don't just sit there and hold the shutter button. So I'm not taking away from the A9 at all. That looks fantastic to me. I think Sony has delivered. I think they're delivering on all their cameras right now. Let's just pray they don't rest on their laurels and go, hey, that was a good run, we're done. I don't think they are, though. I think they're aiming for the #1 spot. They're in #2, and now they're aiming for #1. I use their video cameras, now I'm using their DSLRs. I can't wait to see where mirrorless goes with these guys as well. Guys, I hope this has been good for you. Give me a like and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I will continue looking at the best gear on the planet 2017 and try to help you in your decisions and your purchasing of amazing gear. Take care, peace.